Imagine the world in the late 1800s. People believed time and space were fixed, absolute. Then came a thinker, an outsider, misunderstood, often mocked, who looked at the universe and asked, "What if?" That thinker was Albert Einstein. His journey from a quiet child in Germany to the most celebrated scientist of the 20th century is full of struggle, passion, genius, and humanity. This is his story. Albert Einstein was born on March 14, 1879, in Ulm, Württemberg, in Germany. His parents, Hermann Einstein, a salesman and later electrical engineer, and Pauline Koch. Soon after his birth, the family moved to Munich, where Hermann and his brother ran an electrical engineering business. Albert had one younger sister, Maria, nicknamed Maya, born in 1881. As a child, Einstein was quiet. He did not speak fluently until around age 3 or 4. One defining moment, at about age 5, his father showed him a compass. Albert was mesmerized that an invisible force could make the needle move. This sparked his lifelong curiosity about unseen forces. At age 12, he encountered a geometry book and described it as his sacred little geometry book. He studied it deeply, often on his own. Einstein attended Leupold Gymnasium in Munich. But he disliked the rigid teaching style, the rote memorization, the discipline. He often clashed with teachers. He wrote later, "It is almost a miracle that modern teaching methods have not yet entirely strangled the holy curiosity of inquiry." Meanwhile, a medical student, Max Talmud Tommy, who occasionally dined at his home, became his informal mentor. He introduced Albert to books of science, mathematics, philosophy. He gave him exposure to advanced ideas. In 1894, the Einstein firm lost the contract, and the family moved to Milan, Italy, leaving Albert behind to finish school. Disliking Munich's schooling system, he eventually left too and joined them. He renounced his German citizenship to avoid military service. He enrolled in a school in Aarau, Switzerland, to complete his secondary education. In 1896, Einstein entered the Swiss Federal Polytechnic School in Zurich, which later became ETH. His application was accepted because of his strong performance in mathematics and physics, despite weaker marks in languages, etc. He met people like Mileva Marek, a fellow student, with whom he discussed physics intensely. They later married. Einstein graduated in 1900, earning a teaching diploma. But he struggled to get any academic job. Professors found him too independent, too nonconformist. For a couple of years, he took odd jobs, sometimes tutoring or substituting. Eventually, in 1902, he secured a position at the Swiss Patent Office in Bern as a technical assistant, later called patent clerk. This job was quiet and allowed him mental space. While examining inventions, he thought deeply about fundamental physics. In 1905, while still a patent clerk, Einstein published 4 seminal papers that shook physics. 1. Photoelectric effect, showing light can behave as particles, quanta. 2. Brownian motion, explaining how pollen grains, or small particles, move in liquid due to molecular motion. 3. Special theory of relativity, proposing that the laws of physics are the same for all non-accelerating observers, and that the speed of light is constant in vacuum. 4. Derivation of E equals mc squared, mass, energy equivalence. This shows that a small amount of mass can convert into energy. He also completed his doctorate, PhD, in that period. His papers faced skepticism, but also immense interest. Over time, tests and observations gave them support. In 1908, Einstein became Privatdozent, a kind of lecturer, in Bern. In 1909, he became a professor in Zurich. In 1911, he moved to Prague as professor of theoretical physics. Then in 1912 he went back to Zurich. In 1914, he was appointed director of the Kaiser Wilhelm Institute and accepted a position in Berlin. He also became a German citizen again. During these years, Einstein worked on the general theory of relativity, extending his special theory to include gravity and accelerating frames. In 1915, he published the final form of his general relativity, the idea that mass and energy tell spacetime how to curve, and curvature of spacetime tells matter how to move. In 1919, observations during the total solar eclipse by Arthur Eddington confirmed that light from distant stars bent around the Sun, matching Einstein's predictions. This made Einstein globally famous. After that, Einstein became a celebrity, in demand for lectures, interviews, public appearances. Einstein married Mileva Marek in 1903. They had 3 children, Liesel, possibly born before marriage, whose fate is uncertain, Hans Albert, and Eduard. Their marriage was troubled. Differences in personality, financial pressures, and Einstein's devotion to his work strained their relationship. They eventually separated and divorced in 1919. In 1919, Einstein married Elsa Lowenthal, his cousin. She supported him greatly, managed household, cared for him. Einstein loved music, especially violin. Music was his solace, his escape. He also enjoyed sailing, though he often admitted he was not a good sailor and disliked strong winds. Einstein held strong moral and political views. He was an advocate for pacifism, civil rights, and freedom. He criticized war, nationalism, militarism. As anti-Semitism rose in Germany, Einstein's Jewish background made him a target. His books were burned in Germany. In 1933, when Hitler became Chancellor, Einstein was visiting the U.S. He chose not to return to Germany. He renounced his German citizenship again and moved to the U.S. permanently. He accepted a position at Princeton University, at the Institute for Advanced Study. In 1939, Einstein signed a letter to President Franklin D. Roosevelt, warning that Nazi Germany might develop a powerful atomic weapon. This led to the start of the Manhattan Project. Einstein, however, did not directly work on the atomic bomb. He later expressed deep regret that his letter had indirect role in nuclear weapon development. After World War II, Einstein became vocal about nuclear disarmament, world peace, and cooperation among nations. He was involved in the world government movement. Einstein's later years were dedicated to seeking a unified field theory, a single framework that could unite all fundamental forces, gravity, electromagnetism, etc. He did not succeed, but he influenced later physicists. He continued to write, lecture, correspond. He was offered the presidency of Israel, but he refused. He hosted discussions on philosophy, humanism, ethics, religion. He identified spiritually with Spinoza's God, a pantheistic view. Einstein's health declined. On April 18, 1955, he died at Princeton, New Jersey, at age 76. His brain was preserved, without consent, and studied by scientists, sparking controversies. Einstein's theories underpin much of modern physics: relativity, cosmology, black holes, gravitational waves. His mass, energy equivalence equals mc squared, finds expression in nuclear energy, particle physics. His work on photoelectric effect laid the foundations of quantum mechanics and modern electronics. The Einstein House, in Bern preserves the apartment where Einstein lived while working on his miracle papers. The Albert Einstein Memorial Statue in Washington, D.C., is a tribute to his lasting influence. Awards like the Albert Einstein Award were established to honor achievements in theoretical physics. His quotes and philosophy inspire people beyond science. For example, imagination is more important than knowledge. Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving. His life is a model: curiosity over conformity, questioning over acceptance, deep moral concern along with scientific genius. Albert Einstein's journey was not only about physics. It was about courage, to question, to dream, and to persist even when no one believed in him. His story reminds us that greatness often begins with curiosity, and that each of us, in our own way, can look at the world and say, "What if?"